Executive functioning really does matter. Today we're going to go over the 11 essential skills and see how each one impacts our life. Executive functioning has been known as the predictor of success. Executive functioning improves productivity. Hello, I'm Irene Caniano, a productivity coach specializing in executive functioning and ADHD. When I started my practice, I used essential11skills.com as my website URL. I've now added irenecaniano.com, but I wanted to stress how important I believe the 11 skills are. Here are the 11 skills: task initiation, organization, awareness, time management, self-control, emotional control, sustained attention, prioritization and planning, goal-directed persistence, working memory, and flexibility. Now, if you lack one of these skills, you still need to do work because your intelligence, talents, and education cannot make up for the deficiency in that skill. And to be a peak performer, you must address any weakness in these skills. Each of us, I believe, has at least one executive function weakness. Individuals with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder struggle with 5 or more of the essential skills. We all benefit from identifying the area or areas we need to improve and learn ways to strengthen that skill. Executive functioning prevents overwhelm and stress, promotes healthy relationships, boosts our problem-solving ability, supports us in managing our daily tasks, fosters efficiency in learning and working, and keeps us on track so we can accomplish our long-term goals. Variation in the skill level. As you can see, the skill I'm talking about in the slide is emotional control. On one side it means highly developed, on the other side of the line it says weak. So how well do you control your emotions? Find yourself on that line somewhere. Now, if this is a skill you have difficulty with, no worries, because we can improve our functioning by changing our thinking and behavior and using tools and strategies. Now, how does the level of emotional control impact our life? Oversensitivity, worry, and anxiety hinder a person from doing what they want and also can harm their performance and their relationships. Reacting to stress with a short temper, anger, or panic shows you have out-of-control emotions. But it is helpful to know that with any event, we can control our reaction and change the outcome. How the level of flexibility impacts our life. As you can see in the cartoon, this man is not flexible for most of his life. Without flexibility, our daily life is unnecessarily frustrating. Rigid thinking, perfectionism, and lack of the ability to give and take sets us up for disappointment and relationship problems. Life runs more smoothly when we learn to pause before rejecting someone's ideas, consider other people's feelings before making a decision, and allow for mistakes, ours and others. Now there are 3 executive functions that help us get things done: prioritization, task initiation, and persistence. We have to start, continue, and complete a task. Let's start with prioritization. Signs of the need to prioritize. If you're doing busy work and you feel you're productive, you're wrong because you're accomplishing little. And giving ourselves too much downtime limits our work time. Focusing on another person's to-do list means we're not paying attention to ours. It's important to see what's most important now. Now let's talk about the task initiation. Not starting is the result of the failure to take action. A small step is enough to push through the resistance. What doesn't help is staying stuck in the I can't, I won't, do this thinking. And here are some things that go through people's heads that keep them from starting. This is boring. This is too hard. I'm scared to do this. I don't feel like doing it now. I don't know where to start. I don't have what I need to begin. And instead of getting into action, they're into thinking and they're stuck. Now, how about persistence? Persistence impacts our life because if you see, lack of persistence wastes energy, time, and money. And here are some examples. Quitting a job when frustrated, leaving projects partly undone, signing up for an expensive course and not completing it. Self-esteem, careers, and relationships suffer when people fail to fulfill their expectations and responsibilities. And if you look at the diagram with a little picture on the side, you can see it takes a lot to get to be successful, but if you keep with the persistence and push through, you can be successful. How does the level of time management impact our lives? In this chart, you see on the left, there are things we do that are time wasters. And on the other side, we have activities that show us in the zone. So this is showing how we can manage our time and create what seems like more time that's valuable, time that allows us to grow, prepare for the future, that is left with us living our values, that improves our relationships, that prevents problems, things that are opportunities that we pursue, learning, needed relaxation, and life balance activities. The important thing to remember is that time is a non-renewable resource. We can't buy or borrow time. Some people lose hours of their day lounging around, surfing the internet, or spending an excessive amount of time doing what's fun and easy. On the other hand, some people overbook their calendars, setting themselves up for disappointment when they can't do everything they hope to. Also, time blindness and underestimating the time needed for work, chores, and travel results in stress, feeling rushed, and being late. Good time management takes planning. Consider the available time and put priorities on the top of the to-do list. Only make commitments after consulting your calendar. Create a schedule, improve time awareness, and be realistic so you can maximize your time. Let's talk about organization. As you look at the closet picture and the picture of the shopping list and the desk, doesn't that give you a feeling of relaxation almost? It's just so nice to look at that and see that things are so orderly. Most of us do not have that much organization in our life, but it's worth trying to be more organized because living haphazardly causes anxiety. For some people, even getting out the door in the morning can be challenging if they have to search through clutter for papers or needed items. Finances suffer if due dates for bills are missed. Disorganization can also interfere with the completion of work. And sometimes things need to be repurchased because the original can't be found in the mountain of stuff. Stuffication overloads the senses, creates stress, and impacts relationships and finances. So it's worth it taking the time to go through your things and get rid of unnecessary items by donating or tossing. Maybe just cleaning one area at a time or asking someone to help you and make a day of it. But getting organized will help you to actually achieve more. But if overwhelm remains, you can always consider hiring someone as a personal organizer or trade off some jobs with someone who will want to organize your space for you. How does the level of awareness impact our performance? Well, the fancy name for the executive skill of awareness is metacognition. Metacognition can be considered the how am I doing skill. Poor metacognition is not knowing what most people around you know. You feel blindsided about missing a deadline, shocked by a poor evaluation, and surprised about a person's reaction because you missed the social cues. But there are ways to keep our awareness up. We can think, How can I prepare? Am I on track? What caused the problem? What options do I have? What resources are available? What's happening around me? How does the level of sustained attention impact our lives? Let's look at the two students in the front. For one student, class time equals nap time. For the other, class attention doesn't come easy. She seems to be trying to listen, but isn't quite up to the task. Many factors affect attention. Intention. We need to know what's important, what needs my focus, and act on it. And then there are inner distractions. The thoughts, worry, guilt, anxiety, daydreaming, planning for the future can all be taken place quietly as we sit in a class or in an important event and not concern ourselves with what really is happening. Then there are external distractions, the temperature of the room, any noises or movements, or curiosity about something in the environment, for instance, looking at a broken chair or someone's wrinkled outfit. Interruptions also occur that are unexpected and that take our focus away from the task at hand. And lastly, continuous partial attention, the habit of focusing on many things in a period of time without focusing on productivity. Sometimes when it's most important to be attentive, we fail to do so. Consider distracted driving. We even get in car accidents because we aren't watching the road. Inattention interferes with our learning potential, our communication, and our productivity. How the level of self-control impacts our life. Self-control enables us to choose what we want most over what we want now. But the lack of self-control shows up as impulsive, risky, or self-defeating behavior. Sometimes it's like being on automatic pilot, a case of acting without thinking. Other times we forge ahead, knowing we're not acting in our best interest. We choose what we want now, even though it will harm us in the future. Two examples of poor self-control include refusal to comply with medical recommendations that we know will help, and acting in ways that endanger our safety, like speeding. Overindulging is another problem. Reckless spending, irresponsible gambling, drinking to excess, and engaging in risky sexual behaviors demonstrate poor self-control. With self-discipline, we're able to rein in our immediate impulses and desires, so we can have the things we value in the long term. We behave in a way so we can progress to our goals and prevent setbacks. The benefits of self-control are financial stability, health, harmony, and life satisfaction. Oh, I missed the appointment. I can't find my phone again. I don't remember you saying that. These statements often relate to working memory. Working memory is the process of holding information for a short time. A pattern of forgetting appointments, losing things, and not remembering what was said are examples of problems with this executive skill. Fortunately, there are many ways to support working memory. Stay focused. Keep your attention on what you're doing. Also, remember Benjamin Franklin's advice, a place for everything, everything in its place. Create consistent drop spots so you don't have to track where you put something. Stay in the moment. For example, think to yourself, I'm parking the car in section C in the first row. Use a planner, calendar, or alarms as reminders. Taking time to set up support will save you frustration in the future. Now is the perfect time to improve your executive functioning. If you're in your 20s or 30s, the 11 skills will smooth your transition as you take on added responsibilities. If you're older, you can benefit from greater productivity and harmony. If you have ADHD, improving your executive functioning will empower you to manage the frustration and challenges of the condition. As Lao Tzu said, mastering yourself is true power.